Guys, today we just got a flood again. And as you can see back there, it looks like I live on a lake once again. I've been coming pretty regular here lately. So I figured it would be a good time. We got some leaves in the pool. The pool was over flooding. So I figured it would be a good time to test this Vevor suction vacuum. Now, I haven't never used it. In most videos I would start showing you how to assemble it first, but I'm doing this in reverse because I got one of these Wal-Mart Coleman pools. I upgraded to the Vevor sand filter pump a couple years ago, and it's been doing awesome. But the different pools has different setups, and I ain't sure exactly what pools this vacuum's meant to hook up to. I'm pretty sure it'll hook up to in-ground pools real good. And it's made for some above ground pools, but mine, I had to have some fittings that didn't come with the Vevor pool suction vacuum. So I'm gonna turn it on and we're gonna get up there and we're gonna watch and see how it works and see if it gets these leaves out of here. Now what I'm doing today, I'm actually got mine hooked up, suction through my B port, sucking back into my pump, and then the return water, which here's my sprinkler I just put on here. I just undone the end so the water would freely come out and not shoot up in the air for this video. So we're gonna turn it on, and I'm actually gonna be vacuuming in filtration mode, which some people don't agree with that. It ain't something I would do all the time, but I don't want water splashing so we can hear. I'm just going to test this out in filtration mode. So there it is in action. I've never seen one of these before, so I don't know if it's supposed to jump like it's jumping. Oh, that's what it does to make it move around. But it looks like it's staying on bottom, and we're going to let it run. I don't know how good y'all can see, but there's several leaves down there on the bottom. And we're going to see how this Vevor suction cleaner here sucks the pool out. It looked to me like it might get tangled itself up right there. Let me go over and get it untangled. I don't know if that's going to untangle. I don't really like it pulling on the edge of that port that it's stuck into. It's like it's climbing the wall and wants to vacuum the wall. It'll clean your walls too. It'll go up and stick on the side of the wall as it goes around, guys. It's going back down on the floor now. Well, it looks to me like now it's done hung up on the steps. So let's see if we can get it off of the steps and let it go again. And another problem, like I was saying, with this Coleman pool here, it's got two port B's and they small ports. And with them being small ports, I don't know if that's giving it the suction it's supposed to have to run like it's supposed to do. Because I've never seen one of these. Now I know this pump's big enough. You ain't gonna run this with no 3/4 horsepower pump. You're gonna need a 2 horsepower pump to run this, and that's why I'm thinking it's would work better for in-ground pools. For me personally, I don't like the fact of having to unhook all my stuff to hook this up just to vacuum the pool. So this is just a product review I'm doing on this product right here. So my first thoughts is I don't even like any of these kind of vacuums because you got to disconnect and connect and all that when you're doing above ground pools. So I just soon have one of the put on a pole and like the little mini vacuum cleaner. Or the robot you just drop in there and it runs around and vacuums. But we're gonna let it run and I'm gonna see. We can open this basket up over here and see what it sucked out. But I see another thing I don't like, guys, on above ground pool. It's sitting there doing that vibrating on this B port. Well, these things fiddle like this pool done got going on 4 years old. I don't like to see the stress on that port. It could make it start leaking. Now I'll show y'all when I take this out, it's got a valve right here that you can open and close. Supposedly makes it vacuum more or vacuum less. Well, I had it turned all the way closed. I figured going through this little one port right here, it would need to be closed to get all the suction it could get. Now it comes with a little eye that they say put on your return cord over here that makes the water go down and not just shoot out in there. But since I already had this sprinkler on here, all I did was just took one end off and you can see the water's just running, so it ain't shooting out through there affecting how the pool suction cleaner here works. The little blue deal right there you seeing on your hose, that's something that you can adjust back and forth to help keep your hose at the right angle. And I'll show y'all that when I take it out. I don't want to pull it out and it gets suction and suck air. But you adjust that little blue thing and that keeps you angle this hose right, so this thing will stay on bottom. And it's doing a good job staying on bottom. And what it just run over right there, it picked up. Y'all can see my swimming pool here has done so faded over the years. Of course, being a cheap pool, cheaper liner, I'm sure they're gonna fade from the sun. Our pool water don't look blue because the liner itself, all the blueness is about done faded out of it. But it has some spots in it to where the sandy stain color too. And I was hoping this would rub that around. Because what I have that I've been using to get leaves out of my pool when I first open it and after a storm is that Polaris. It floats on top. It ain't really a vacuum because it don't suck. It just moves around and it kind of blows and the trash goes up into the bag. And I use that for getting it when it's a lot of leaves and stuff in here, but I had it a quick connect. Didn't take me just like that because I wasn't fooling with none of my return ports over here. And then the next vacuum we got that I like, which we had trouble with, is the little, like I said, goes on a pole, but it's like a battery charge up vacuum cleaner you can put on a pole, stick on there, spot vacuum, or you can get in there in the summer when you're swimming and spot vacuum. And then the latest one I got, I don't think I ever done a video on it, because it was at the end of the year when I got it. It's one of the little robots. You just charge it up and drop it down in there, and it does good on getting smaller stuff like in there today. This just looks like this would clean your pool bottom better, just because it's got that vibration motion and it's steady rubbing on the bottom. It might would get some of that stain and stuff up. Now, I've took my brush and brushed on that, thinking it was just dirt, but I guess it's done stained into the vinyl. I figure this is gonna be about the last year we get out of this pool, because the sun UV rays, y'all see right here where this liner comes over these pipes, it's kind of freezing up like it's disintegrating. For that hot 100-degree summer sun, I was hoping to get 5 years out of it, even though it was a cheap pool. I don't think I'm gonna get 5 years. We'll see. If it does, it's got to go through this year and one more. I'm gonna take my broom, there's some leaves right over there. I'm gonna push over here, so it ain't taking its way on over there. Or I can add let me add another. This is just an 18-foot pool, and it comes with several joints of these pipes. So I'm gonna add another one in. I may have it cut off too short and not letting it go to the other side. The pipe seems to clamp together good and seal good. But just like with any of these style vacuums, when you first put these hoses in there, you don't get that air out of that line and fill that line with water. When you turn your pump on, it's going to suck air, and then you got to start all over. Now I'm going to go on and push what few leaves is left in there on that way. It looks like it's done got hung up in steps again. So I'm going to let it run for a little while, and then we'll take a look and see what we think how she done. Look at it climbing up the wall. That's one thing I do like about it. It'll climb up the wall, and if you got any kind of helps rub and clean the wall off. It may climb out. Let's see what's gonna happen. It just climbed up and sucked there. So if you wasn't here when it done that, to turn that pump off like right now. So if I wouldn't have been here or left this thing running and it just climbed that wall and sucked air, your pump would sit there and burn up. So I have to say that's a negative drawback to these style suction cleaners. And this is where you got to go through, disconnect the line, refill the line with water, and get your pump reprimed. Alright guys, since it sucked air and I got to reprime the pump and all, we're going to open this up and see if it's any leaves, how much it did vacuum out. Because I was vacuuming in filtration mode, so it ought to be leaves in this basket. And there is some leaves in there and June bugs. And guys, I had to go over and get the water because it done packed it, sucked it up in the screen here trying to suck it out of the basket. But you see, it does work. I have to give it that. It does work. It's just not convenient to hook up on my style of above ground pool. So I guess it depends on what type of pool you got. But it was vacuum. I always flush mine out like that right there. Well, it ain't no sense me doing that. I gotta hook all my lines back up the way I had them. Okay, guys. So what do I think about the Vevor suction pool cleaner? It works. Decently made for the price. Now, the reason I didn't show to assembling this before the video is because I had to figure it out myself. And like I said, trying to make it connect up to this Coleman pool. In other pools, it might have all the exact parts you need. But it comes with 12 3-foot joints of pipe. And they stick together. They get good rubber sealers that seal off the air. On the end right here that goes to wherever your B port is, or if you hooking up to an in-ground pool, you would be hooking it up to your skimmer on some of them in-ground pools. This is a valve that you can open and close and adjust how much pressure and vacuum it has on it. Now, I had mine closed all the way down because, like I said, I was only sucking through a little hole in this Coleman pool like this, even though I got a 2 horsepower pump. So that's what that little piece right there is for. I had to use an adapter that I got for my pool for my B ports. And y'all see what I'm saying, how narrow that B port is. That had to stick in there, and then I had to use this piece that come with the Vevor pool here, and it fit right over that and sealed off. That's how I had mine hooked up. The only way I could come up with. On your return port right here, which this again to me is for like, well, I guess higher dollar above ground pools may have eyeballs that you can unscrew at your return port A and remove the eyeball, and you put this in there so it blows the water down. And that's why I said I just used my sprinkler. I just undone the end, that way it wasn't shooting water out there. The purpose of that is shoot the water down to not affect how this thing moves around. So that's what that little piece was for. You got a extra diaphragm here. I think that's exactly what it's called, but it's in the inside of this. You would just unscrew it, and I guess after time them wear out is why they sent an extra one. I am not going to pull the one in here out because they fit tight, but you would just pull that out, and that's your extra diaphragm. And I may not be calling that right by calling it a diaphragm, but that's what makes it does its suction and pumping action. When you get it out of the box, the little rubber end right here ain't on. All you do is just stick it over the end and stretch it over it. The rest of that is assembled already straight out of the box. You can see the diaphragm by looking in there. The yellow in there, that's this extra diaphragm. Oh, the other thing that I had to assemble, it comes in the box. They call this the dry wheel. This nut was on here, but the little dry wheel wasn't. You just stick the dry wheel on it. And I guess it's called a dry wheel because it helps guide it around as it hits the edge of the pool. But it didn't, it kept getting hung up on the steps over there, but I think the rubber down here was getting hung up. That little weight, they called that a weight, but I think it's more like a float. You adjust it where you need it, because you need to keep this. You don't want it laying down in there like that or standing up. You want it laying where it stays on the bottom running good. And it did good. I mean, it sucked the leaves out of there. I mean, I don't see but a couple of little leaves left. So it did good. It's just not for me, because it takes me too much to have to undo all my plumbing that I had over there in order to hook this up to use it. So that's something you need to think about if you're interested in some type of pool vacuum cleaner, is what you want to go through every time you want to use it. Some pools, especially in-ground pools, they could hook this up probably on one of their skimmers, and I'm just saying this, and it wouldn't be no trouble. Just open the top, plug it in, throw it in the pool. Now, if mine was like that, I'd say, yeah, this is something to do. But as you've seen, it climbed that wall, so I wouldn't run off and leave this. And it climbed that wall, and once it sucked air, if it stayed up there and never got back in the water, that'd end up burning your pump up. But that ain't just with Vevor brand. That's going to be with any of them that's made or built like this. So that's the biggest con there. And for my pool, it's just too much trouble to hook and unhook to vacuum. So guys, that's my review on that. I try to give honest opinions. And as honest opinion is just whatever pool you got, you need to really look at how it has to be hooked up every time you want to use it, to decide if you want this style of vacuum for your pool. So guys, now I'm finna get back over here and hook all my pool back up like I originally had it. Appreciate y'all for watching the video. If you like these type videos, please give me a thumbs up. Now I keep them coming. And as always, I hope y'all have a great day and a blessed week. God bless. See y'all next time.